I'm Coop. I will be explaining the differences between the old Elite Dart and the new Suction Elite Dart. I'll show you some tests and then give you my opinion and totally geek out with you. Normal Elite Darts first. 65. 68. 65. Duplicate 65. 70. Going to Suction Cup Elite Darts. 72. Whoa. 73. 70. 71. 68. 5 regular Elite Darts. 5 of the new Suction Elite Darts. So now we're going pretty nerdy on the Nerf hobby, so if you're not a modder, you might just not even care about this stuff, but it's valuable information. So before I explain why the Suction Cup Elite Dart is better than the old Elite Dart, as the test just showed you, I have to explain why this is inherently flawed. This is the old Elite Dart, as you can see. It has the standard tip and that little hole on it. That is what makes this whole design worse than it should be. And you might say, well, if that hole's the problem, why don't they just delete it? Good idea, viewer. That's what I said. Except Hasbro has safety standards, and the hole on the tip of the dart actually allows the air to compress and eject from the head and divert a little bit of energy in the tip of the dart, so if you shoot a kid in the face, it hurts a little bit less. This also allows them to make their projectile shoot a little bit harder while staying under the same standards. If that were filled, you'd have to shoot it a little bit less hard to create the same damage on that same kid's face. As opposed to the Suction Elite Dart, which compresses in the tip itself, so it can do the same velocity and divert energy in a similar manner, but while remaining symmetrical. So if you're familiar with how an airplane works, or how it generates lift, it creates an airfoil around the wing of the airplane. That's physics. I don't know how old you are. It's pretty basic stuff. It creates an airfoil generating air lift, which is a fascinating topic. But this little hole affects how the air travels around the projectile as it's going through the air, which changes its trajectory because of the air pressure. Just like how an airplane can go up, a Nerf dart can go up or down or sideways, except an airplane controls it, this just twirls in the air and the air just does whatever it wants. Even if the hole creates an airfoil in the same manner every time you fire it, it's very difficult to control. Some people say if you line all of the holes up in the top of your magazines, of your blasters, whatever, and you shoot them, it's the same. Maybe, a little bit. Not really though. Right after you fire the dart, it spins just a little bit. It could spin in any direction, you have no idea, because we can't control all the factors. So right after it spins, that airfoil is in a unique location every single time you pull that trigger, so the consistency is awful. Plus, when it's in the air, it's spinning, and sometimes if you've ever noticed a dart go like this and then swerve back, you might say, whoa, I'm in the Wanted movie flinging bullets around pigs hitting dead bodies. But it's just the dart doing its own thing, which is annoying. The number one thing in accuracy is consistency. The dart has to do the exact same thing every time it leaves the barrel, even if it's a little bit to the right and you're aiming over here and it's shooting a little bit over there. If it's the same location, that's fine, just aim a little left. The consistency will allow you to be more accurate. If it just is sporadic and you have no idea where that dart's going to go because it depends on the hole, depends on the wind, everything, it's difficult. Nerf darts will never be that accurate, especially outdoors, because wind's going to affect this mass a lot more than like a bullet. Well, that's traveling faster, but it's also heavier. So why does the Suction Cup dart get so much praise for being a superior design, you wonder? It's symmetrical on the front plane here. That means the air travels around the projectile in an identical manner at all 360 degrees of the circle here, as opposed to this little hole in a few degrees changes everything and it throws the dart everywhere. So this dart is symmetrical, it flies through the air in a very consistent manner, and it happens to fire a little bit faster, which is an even bigger bonus. The averages there for the Suction were 71 feet per second, and the old normal dart was 67 feet per second. A few feet per second, especially at that rate, will not be noticeable by the naked eye. The ranges are pretty much consistent. I haven't noticed any substantial difference. But the biggest thing, if you look at this design, it's a big concave hole saying, hey, air, I'm gonna catch all of you and slow you down, haha. It's not saying that, that's a joke. But the biggest concern before these were released from modders were, uh-oh, if they have worse range, that's going to suck. But they're more consistent, they shoot just as far, and they shoot a little faster right out of the muzzle, which is awesome. So that's sort of why the new suction cup darts are a little bit more consistent. It has to do with air pressure, some really fascinating stuff. If you care, look up physics on Wikipedia and just start reading fascinating stuff, or like Google how an airplane works, and you might get it. So my conclusion, or my opinion, is this a superior dart? In my opinion, absolutely. The suction cup is a better dart. It fires a little bit faster, the accuracy, as you can see in my tests, the consistency, I should say. I tried to aim in the same location. Even if my first one was off, I just aimed at the same location so the darts would theoretically travel in the same destination or trajectory. And you can see these travel much more consistently. They are Nerf darts. You're not going to get like a pellet gun accuracy within an inch. It's still going to spray everywhere because it's foam. Nerf guns aren't really that consistent. This barrel to that barrel is a new factor depending on a bunch of stuff I'm not going into. So it is a better design, in my opinion. I'm sure there's some reason you might want this. But will I be replacing all of my darts and will I start buying bulk buys? No. Hasbro, to my knowledge, has not released a bulk buy of the suction cup. I bought 30 of these for $15. No, less than that. Shoot. I forget, maybe 10 bucks. And when you buy a smaller quantity from Hasbro, it's going to be a higher cost. I don't, because if I showed up to a Nerf war with stock darts, I need 200 to 300 Nerf darts to fill my mags, because I would have a lot of mags for my loadout. It's just, I'm trigger happy. I wouldn't spend that much on these because Elite darts are substantially cheaper. What I would suggest to my viewers, if you adopt the new superior design, is maybe not go out and purchase 100 to 200 of these, because that's quite a bit of money. Everybody replaces ammo once a month, or I'm sorry, not once a month, once a year. Old darts get worn. You can't really use them. If you're a competitive Nerfer, that sounds so hardcore. If you're just a basement guy, you might not care. You might use crummy old darts, but if a dart jams, you could die in a game, which could be a big deal to you. You filter out old crappy darts and use pristine darts. Once you start recycling and getting new ammo, I might suggest go check these out and then start refilling, integrating it into your current collection, and eventually filter out all of your old ones into the new superior design. But that's just my opinion. This video is probably too lengthy. I might have geeked out a little too hard, but I hope everybody enjoyed it. In conclusion, this is a superior dart, the suction cup. This is just cheaper, easier to acquire. Everybody has them already. You probably have a collection of over 200 if you've been Nerfing for any amount of time. So, yep, kind of a bummer that they didn't just come out with this one first, but Hasbro have to make money. By the way, the test was done with a sweet revenge for convenience, so I could get 5 test samples without reloading because I'm a lazy bum. And the second video was shot with the iPhone holder, which is pretty cool. I have a review on both of these coming, but I wanted to just test that, and that was a good opportunity to get the barrel view. So that concludes the suction cup or Elite Dart discussion. That's my opinion. You can have a different argument. If you have a valid, rational argument to prove me wrong, I'm happy to hear it. Probably not going to change my mind because what I'm after is consistency and velocity. This is superior in both. But if you have a counter argument, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment in the section below if you'd like. If not, whatever. So hopefully I informed the viewer and the consumer. If you'd like to go purchase darts, now you might know a little bit more about these projectiles. 10 minutes of dart geeking. Wow, I feel like such a dork. It's awesome. Straightforward, that's where you load the first dart. Directly below that are 2 more ammo holders. They hold 2 other Elite darts, or any micro dart really. The holders are very appropriately sized, tight enough to hold the dart in place.